Hello, it's John, Shopkeep Arty, and today I am with Barry Herniman. Hi, Barry, how are you?
Hi, John. Yes, fine, thanks. Not been blown away just yet. Thank
No, I
goodness.
know there's some big storms in the UK at the moment. We're going to be talking about an upcoming art series that we are hosting with Barry in November 2023. It's only a few days away, actually, and we're going to be talking about the 4 different 1-hour classes that we're going to be covering. And there's a particular theme that runs through this series. The theme is, well, I guess the inspiration started with this new book that Barry's launched, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But on top of that, it was all about using a Fude pen. It's a bent nib pen, which is quite interesting. And we're going to do a few little demonstrations about what you can use a Fude pen for, and also some recommended ink. And I've included the links to a pen, if you haven't got one of those already, on Amazon that you can use if you want, if you've already got one. If you know a different place you can get it, I guess they're stocked in all good art shops, is the usual way to describe these things. But for your convenience, on the series information page, we've got links to the things if you want to order those. So let's first of all start off by explaining how you can find, before we go to Barry and talk about his book and everything, I'll just go through how you can find the series details and everything on our website, and how, if you are interested, after we've had a chat with Barry, how you can order a ticket for joining the series. If you order all 4, you get a 25% discount automatically as well. In fact, if you're a patron of ours at level 2 or up, you can get a 50% discount. So it's quite good. And the tickets for joining the live classes also include the video. So if you're watching this introductory video and it's after the event, then if you purchase the tickets, you'll get the videos and you can watch them as many times as you want. So but if it's before, you'll get the live invite, so you can join the webinar with us as well. So how do you do this? Well, you head over to Shopkeep Arty, and at the top there's our events page. So if it's before the event, you'll see all the upcoming events, and you'll see all the different various classes that we're doing with Barry there, listed in the events page. And anyone goes through to the same page, actually, the events details, and it explains all about the different classes that we're going to be doing. You can have a look at the reference photos and things like that. You can see there's the link that you click to go through to the shop to purchase the tickets. And as you can see, you've got all the recommended materials, and there's a link through to the different pens and things on there. So let's click that link, and it goes through to the shop. Now, you've got 2 options. First one is you can purchase the whole series, and as I said before, the tickets include the video. Just highlighting it there. And for the whole series, you get 4 for the price of 3. If you want 1, you can click on a particular class and you can purchase that, and it's £10. So if you come back and you want to purchase all 4 for £30, add it to cart and check out the normal way you normally do it. If we go back to the to Shopkeep Arty now, I'll just show you all the different classes, and we'll be talking about these in a minute in a bit more detail. And if you've got any questions, obviously write down your questions in the comments. And there was something else I wanted to say. Yes, and if you're a patron level 2 or upwards, you can use our patron discounts, and using that link, you can get from 50% discount. So it depends what level you are, but if you're at high levels, even more of a discount. So it's really good value. Right. So we're with that out of the way, let's get back to Barry, and we're going to talk about, first of all, his new book that he's got out. What's the book called again, Barry?
The book's called Sketching Outdoors, Discover the Joy of Painting Outside. There you go.
There you go. There you go. Right. So if you wouldn't mind putting your camera on the book, that'd be great. So some of these things were inspired by some of the things that you go through in this Sketch Outdoors. And why have you used the Fude pen and everything to sketch outdoors? Do you find it makes it a bit quicker and easier?
Absolutely. Well, it's sketching. What I want to try and do is get away from people I've, in all the years I've been teaching, if people go outside, they've stretched up this lovely bit of paper and all the rest of it. And by the time they've sat down and worked it all out, I've done a sketch. So what I want to try and do is get this idea of sketching outdoors rather than doing these full color paintings outdoors. So if I can just quickly go in here, what I really want to try and get the folks to do is start off by doing a very quick tonal sketch like that. And then, because we're using waterproof ink, we can overlay some very simple watercolor and get a really nice full color sketch, which is great. So if you're outside and you haven't got that amount of time, it's absolutely beautiful. And also in my book, a little bit of subliminal advertising here. If you go to the back of the book, it'll show you. It does a quick, complete demonstration of using the pen, and that's your finished tonal sketch, and then going in and putting in some color swatches as well. So that's what
and I guess all that sort of stuff we'll be covering in each one of these classes anyway. But I guess the book is a really good, whether you purchase the book afterwards or before, it's a really good complement to this series, really, because it covers a lot of the stuff that we're going to be covering live with you. So you can ask questions as you go along about the different techniques and everything. So that's brilliant. And we've got 4 different classes that we're going to be doing. And maybe you can just pull out, something that you... in fact, why don't we first of all just talk about, because there's a question from Mary Ann who said, why is a bent nib pen better than a straight one? Do you think it would be good just to show a little demonstration first of all? And then we can...
Let's go straight through to that then. Right, fine. This is something that's always asked me. I've been an illustrator for many years, and I have had all sorts of sketching pens. And believe you me, some of them have been a real pain. I don't know if you can see that, but it literally is a bent nib. Can you see that? When I first looked at it, I thought I'd...
Oh, it's broken it.
Broken it. I know, but it really is a fabulous little nib. And the beauty about this nib is, I don't know if you know, I mean, I use a whole array of Faber-Castell Pitt pens going up from 0.3 to 1 mil, so you get all the different thicknesses. But with this pen, this fountain pen, I can go from tiny, let's see if do we need to go a bit closer to this so you can see it? Here we go. I can go from tiny little lines like this, and then by pressing down, look at that, look, just all in one there. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, it really is a fabulous pen. And then,
so I guess in a way, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm thinking it's slightly calligraphy-esque, but you're not having to change the angle. You're actually changing the angle down, but not to the side, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, you can twiddle around with it, like, no problem. And then just literally by using the side, you can get some lovely. Look at that. I mean, it's just. I mean, I love it. And then, of course,
that's brilliant.
While we're doing that, you can add some water to it, and then you're into some lovely textures as well. Look at that. See, so we're going to talk about putting down tones to start with, so we can do that. And then, if you've got some of this wet ink in your pen, you can then do a bit of hair flick as well. So. There you go. I mean, you knew that was coming, didn't you?
Of course. Every class you got to get that in. So the ink that you're using is for this particular one is a carbon ink, isn't it? And it is waterproof, isn't it?
It's waterproof, and the beauty about this is it doesn't clog the pen. I don't know if any of you folks have actually used the good old Indian ink many years ago. Well, that was great while you were using it. As soon as you stopped using it, it would clog every single pen that I've had. What's lovely about this is it's got a little reservoir on the inside. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There, that's a little reservoir in there. It's sort of like a U-shaped reservoir. And all you do is you literally just turn it over, fill it up, take the top off, and this is a fountain pen. And because it's a fountain pen, if I just take this off quickly now, you just put it like a fountain pen. You see, there we are, you've got that. and you just twist this little thing here, dip it in there, twist that, and then you fill up. And there we are. You can see all the ink that's in the pen. So it really is a fabulous little tool. It really is, and I just love it. And the fact that I can get out and I can do sketches as quickly as, well, some of the sketches I've got here, I've literally done, if I just quickly show, I mean, that took me about 15 minutes, the same as that one there. So, I mean, you know, you
pull back the camera slightly, just a little bit, because it's a bit, or move the ink out of the way or something.
I'll stick that up there like that. There we go. Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, they're just very quick, but I mean, I just love doing them. And when people see them, they just want to get out there, and, you know, it's a whole new way of putting ink down on paper. So I'm hoping that the folks are going to really enjoy this, because I enjoy doing it. So I hope you'll enjoy watching it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. So I mean, that's a great explanation. Hopefully that's inspired you a little bit with this new technique or new pen. I had a question from Louise over in Israel. She said, where can I buy such a pen? Well, so what we did just before we went live with this, I was doing a hunt around on Amazon, and I found the precise pen that Barry was talking about. And I've put the link to that on the series information page. So if you go to Barry's series on our website, as I explained at the start of this program, scroll down, and then where it's got the recommended materials, you'll see the Fude pen, and it's in blue, and it's got a line underneath it because it's a link. And if you just click that, it should launch Amazon. Now, I got the link from Amazon UK, and obviously you might use a different Amazon located somewhere else, but I would imagine it will probably go through to the UK, and probably, I don't know, Amazon's pretty clever. They'll probably say, oh, you know, this similar product in your country is this one or whatever. So you'll have to sort of hunt around, but at least that's a good starting point. You can also see what it's called. So you can maybe put that in the search on Amazon, but there's lots and lots of different things. It's just important that it's got the bent nib, really. And then with regards to the ink, I had a look. We spent quite a lot of time looking for the carbon ink. I think although Barry originally got it off UK Amazon initially, we couldn't find it. So that particular ink pot, but we found another one that Barry says looks pretty good. It's got to be waterproof. This one is elephant black, but I've put a link to that as well on the page. And so it's waterproof elephant black ink. And I think if it's really cheap, you know, if it's £4, that might be the type of ink that clogs your pen up. So I think, you know, paying a little bit more. I think the ink that you got, Barry, was about £16, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, Karen's asked, can you use walnut ink?
Wow, blimey. Karen, I really don't know. Someone actually said to me, use this ink. And again, it's a recommendation. And the guy that actually had it had a Fude nib pen. And he said, you want to try this? He said, I've tried all sorts. And he said, and this ink here, I've had it in my pen. I haven't used my pen for a couple of weeks. I go straight back to it and away you go. And it's right. I mean, I haven't used the pen now for over a week, you know, and away you go. You can see what I did there. So there are a lot of them. Please make sure that you don't get the cheapos. There's lots of cheap ones, and get away from Indian ink. Indian ink's great for dark, and but it clogs. It clogs terribly. And really, what you don't want to do, you don't want to clog up your pen, really, because all you're going to do is spend hours and hours cleaning it, and then by the time you've cleaned it, my webinar will be finished, so you'll miss it all.
Yeah, and Trina's asked, what brand is that ink? And the brand is Platinum, for what that really well known name.
Yeah.
I think it's Platinum. It's called. There we go. And it looks like it's from China, but I'm not sure.
It's a Japanese ink, I think.
Oh, Japanese. Okay, so it's Japanese. Platinum is called carbon ink.
Don, just quickly, you can get literally, you know, where I was saying about, you know, the end in here, it's like a fountain pen where you twist it. You actually can get them that take cartridges. So if you want to try it, you know, you can get a cartridge and click that in. That's dead easy. So when you run out, you take the one out and stick the next one in.
Yeah. So maybe that would work. But so you'll have to do a little bit of hunting round, but that hopefully has helped. obviously Barry swears by this carbon ink from Platinum. So if you can find that, then great. But to start you off, we've got that little link on our recommended materials that goes through to this elephant ink one, but then maybe hunt around and see if you can find the carbon ink. If you have any further questions, just email us through Shopkeep Arty, and I'll see if we can help a little bit more. I'll maybe have a little bit of a hunt as well after this show. Trina said, I often use dip pen and ink and have used a parallel pen for sketching, so I'll have to get one of these pens. And I think it'll be really good. And I think this is all designed to complement, because in these 4 classes, the reason I think these art series are so popular is it's not, sometimes when we run an art workshop, we do it 2 to 3 hours, and it's quite a considerable amount of time. Whereas these hour classes, you've got 4 of them, and it gives you a week to kind of think about it in between the class. And you can kind of, if you've got any other questions then as well, you can ask those at the next class. So it's a really good way of solidifying a particular skill around something. And obviously this one is all about this Fude pen, which I think, because of its size and portableness and everything, it's a really good thing to take as a sort of a plein air type of material. You can just literally take it with you, do a bit of a sketch, and learning these things of using the brush with it as well, and just adding the tone before you then layer it with the watercolor. I would imagine that this will mean, Barry, that you don't have to do so many layers of watercolor. So you don't have to wait for the watercolor to dry and then layer, because it's already creating that layer for you.
Can I just quickly well, hang on. Can I go down to the...
Sure.
Oh, no, I can do it like this. Right.
Okay.
Here we are. Now that's a finished quick sketch which I did, okay? And you can see it's a complete tonal sketch, some light tones and some darker tones, that's all. So really all we need to do now is put the basic colours onto these, a bit of green here for that and whatever. And then you end up with something, obviously not the same picture, but you end up with something like that. And if you look, it's the simplest of washes, but look how it just brings, so you've got yourself a really, really nice quick sketch that hasn't taken you hours, but is very, very enjoyable, and and you can bang them out without any problem.
Yeah, brilliant.
So that's what I'm hoping for, is speed and enjoyment, and not having to worry about painting to all 4 corners. We're doing a vignette, so we're just getting in. What do we take? We're going to plonk the color, the tones down, let it dry. It's waterproof, and then put some very, very simple color washes over the top, and hopefully we'll end up with something that's eminently enjoyable. And that's what I want to get out of these hour webinars.
Yes. So we've had a few questions. So let's go down that and have a little look. So Elizabeth said, quite rightly, do check that if you do get the cartridges, that they are permanent ink, because not all are. So this does need to be permanent ink, because otherwise when you add the watercolor, it's just gonna dissipate into the painting.
I'm sorry, the ones that you looked up, they were the carbon black, weren't they? The cartridge ones.
They were. So they should be okay. Yeah, they should be okay. Louise said, I won't be able to get one in time, no plane. So what can I use instead? So I guess what you could do, Louise, is, because obviously the tickets include the video as well. So if you are interested in this, and it means that, because you're obviously in Israel, so there's no planes. I've got it. Yeah. So I guess you're not having any deliveries and things at the moment. So what I would recommend, if you're interested in this series, if you purchase the series, you can join the live things anyway, and just listen, ask questions, and watch. And then obviously if you've ordered the things, once planes are then allowed back into your country, you'll be able to get the delivery, and you'll be able to rewatch the video. So you could do it that way. If you've got any permanent black ink and a fountain pen, you could always do that. It won't have a bent nib, so you won't be able to do the variance of angle, but you'll be able to play around with it. So if you want some enjoyment of just painting along, then you can do that as well. I think that's probably the best we're going to be able to. I guess the third option is, if you've got a fountain pen that you don't really like, just go and bend the nib.
Bend the nib.
But there's a bit of a drastic solution, but hopefully that helps. So 3 options there. And then Elizabeth said, Barry, can you demonstrate using the back of the Fude pen, please? Can you use it as a dip pen, so reverse of the pen nib?
No.
No. Okay, sorry. I think that's
No.
probably
Well, no, not really. It's there. It's that edge. That's the edge you want to use there, which is the. See, if you hold it up like that, look at that. Now, tiny, and then as soon as you go flat, look at that. It's beautiful. I mean, it really is
amazing. It's an amazing graduation of width, isn't it? It's really good.
Apparently, you were totally right when you said apparently it is a Chinese calligraphy pen. So they put, so yeah.
But yeah, because I guess with this you've got, because you can, it's the angle that you're holding it at, whereas if you're using a calligraphy pen, it's always going to have the graduated width depending on which angle you're writing on the page. Whereas with this, you can control the width and of it.
Yeah, just by lifting it up, you see, and
you can keep it the same width because it's all to do with the angle that you're holding it. So I guess this has more control, really.
Well, and the fact is, it's so immediate. You haven't really got to think. All you do is lift it up. I want a thin line. Like I want to do the edge of a house. And away you go, and again want to get something, and you can just wham it out. I just oh hell! I tell you what, it's totally changed the way that I. Oh, there we are. I mean,
yeah.
And they get this all for free, this bit, you see.
Yeah. And then, as you say, you just use a brush now, and you can add the tone and the shadow, let it dry, and then you overlay it with the watercolor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Simple.
Perfect. And so all you're really carrying, I mean, I guess what you could do in actual fact is if you wanted something that was really, really portable from a plein air point of view.
There, on my little sketchbook, you can see how small it is. It's my hand. There. So you just wham the colours, just wham these things in. Away you go.
That's brilliant. That's a really good example.
And it's tiny, and it's a tiny little book. Look, I don't know if you. Well, there's my cloverleaf paint box. So it just shows you how small that is.
Yeah.
I think it's about 4 inches square.
Yeah. So, another subtle plug there, Barry. I thought that was very, very clever.
If you've got a small sketchbook, a pen like that, and a the best thing, of course, is this Barry Herniman Cloverleaf paint box. Oh, a little bit of subliminal advertising there. So, and a pen and a few paints, and away you go. You can paint anywhere around the world.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Trina said, does the specific brand of Fude bent nib pen matter? And I don't think so. But obviously the one that Barry is using, I've put that link to that specific one, but there's loads on Amazon. I mean, there's
range from anything from about, I think someone bought one because loads of people, since they bought my book, they've literally gone in there and said, where can we get it? And I've sort of given them the link like you have. And you get into Amazon and literally they're as cheap as £7, right the way up to about 40, 50 quid. But then 9 times out of 10, all you're really buying there is a mother of pearl, something on the top. You're not really getting much more. And I thought, well, 40 quid, spend 20 quid, and you've got the middle of the road. So
yeah, you do think maybe if you're spending, really cheap, there's going to be, it'll probably last for one painting, and that'll be about it. But I think middle of the road sounds good. Elizabeth said, get a very fine line if you use the reverse of the nib. I have lots of pens and also buy Fude nibs. So there we go. So maybe you can. Maybe Elizabeth does use the back for like really fine light.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's quite good. Would any brand of fountain pen waterproof black ink work? And I guess the answer to that is yes, but just make sure that it's not something that will clog up your fountain pen.
And I think that really that I can only say, I know this one. Like I was saying to you, John, that somebody else actually uses Noodler's ink.
Yes.
seems to work. But the thing is, it's got to be waterproof, and you don't want it clogging. So if it's a cheaper, I mean, you can get lots of, I mean, ink, so that 5-6 quid a bottle. But really, I mean, what I don't want you to do is people, oh, this is really good, and a week later they try and then they clog the whole thing, and really trying to clean out, clogged up ink out of a fountain pen can be a real pain. It really can.
Yeah, yeah. Louise said, how do you write Fude nib pen? Well, if you go to the series details, it's got it all written out there, and I've double and triple checked, and everything's spelt correctly. So you can just see how everything's spelt there. And the link's there as well. So you can just tap the link and you'll go to the Amazon page that we've found. So hopefully that helps there. Yes, brilliant. Well, I think that was, before we go, let's just talk about each one of the particular classes. I almost forgot about the actual classes themselves. And the reason I've got the Grand Canyon behind me is because that is one of the classes that we're doing. We're going to be doing the Grand Canyon. So the first one is a quiet country lane in Exmoor, and that's got, you can have a look at the photos obviously on the series page, but it's got a little bit of a building, a gate, and then a road that goes off into the distance into the countryside, and lots of things to work with there, I'd imagine, Barry, for Absolutely. The painting.
Yeah, we got a little bit of building. We've got a little bit of aerial perspective. The distance, the little lane going up into the distance, and a little bit of foliage. So we've got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, so that's going to be, I think that's a really good one to start off with. The next one is a little bit more detailed because it's a bit more, I guess you'd call it urban. It's in the centre of Bruges, and it's sunshine and shadows on a peaceful canal in Bruges. So we're going to be going abroad for that one, and having a nice session where we're doing that canal side photo. And there's a few more buildings in that one, so a little bit more going on, which will be quite interesting. And I would imagine that there's a bit more shadow at play in that.
Well, and also it's just, again, it'll be showing how to get quite a complicated scene, urban scene with all the different angles and everything else, and putting it down really quickly, getting the shadows in there. And again, sometimes when you're in a city or whatever, and you're sitting, you think, oh, I'd really like to get that down. And sometimes you can spend an awful lot of time trying to get it just right. Whereas if you go in with your old Fude nib pen, cut the watercolor washes, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, yeah. And then the next one, capture the majesty of the Grand Canyon. That is another technique, because obviously we're going to be doing rock formations and rock and rigid rock faces. So that's a different type of texture that we're going to be covering there.
And we're also going, if you look, there's a lot of very strong light coming from the one end to the other. So we can put some washes down and just show you how we can actually, with the ink and some water, we can actually just lay down some nice simple washes, tonal washes, and then when we come to put, again, the simple color over the top of them, away you go.
Yeah.
We've got all the thing is, we've got all the tones there. It's all the tones. So all we're doing is we're putting the simplest washes over the top, just to bring out to finish the painting off, if you like, or the sketch off. I shouldn't say painting, should I?
Yeah. Yeah. And then finally, our fourth one, and obviously during this series, as you have questions, we'll start off each class, just any questions that people have got from the last one, because it gives you time over that week to process it all, and maybe you're just practicing it at home yourself in your own time. So we'll start the next week's one off and just go through any questions you've got, and we can cover that. So we'll have a nice relaxed time, and it will go at your pace. And then the final one, just to bring it all the way back to having gone to Bruges and the Grand Canyon, we'll come back to England, pastoral English woodland, and a nice all sort of autumnal, I guess. It's got all the leaves on the floor and trees. So this will be very much more the branches and the trees and the leaves and that type of texture.
And lots of hair flick, of course.
Of course.
But we can do it because what we do is we draw in the, if you like, the canopy of the tree, so you know where the tree is going to be, and then then I'll show you how we can actually flick some tone in, with some water, and again, a simple way of doing it. Once you've got the tone, and then a nice simple wash over the top, you've got a pastoral English woodland.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it. It's kicks off at the first live event kicks off on Thursday, 9th of November. It'll be at 3:30 UK time. So that usually works quite well, depending on where you are in the world. But obviously, if it doesn't work, you can't make that particular live event. It doesn't matter, because you get the videos included in the price. So everything's included. You get 25% off or more if you're a patron if you order the full series. So it's going to be real fun, and we'll learn all about these Fude pens. I can't wait. And obviously, if you want to purchase the book and support a family run book publishing company, you can do so via our book section on our website as well. We've even got a little video of Barry talking about a book. Do you remember doing that, Barry? That was some time ago, where you were it was at the start of a show and you were talking about it. So you can watch a little bit of an intro from Barry about the book, and there's a link through, and it supports the channel through doing it that way as well. You can have a look at some other videos as well, because we put and showcase books by artists and interview them about their things. Anyway, Barry's is on there. So if you want to order that as well at some point, then you can. Right, I think we'll bring this to a close. Thank you for joining me today, Barry. It was really good. Really looking forward to this. If, as you've noticed, with my moustache, if you've watched any of my other shows, I don't really tend to have it on there. It's all supporting testicular cancer. If there should be something, if this is on YouTube, around me where you can support a charity for that particular thing. So if you wouldn't mind donating, that would be great. It's an important cause. Thank you so much, everybody. Is there anything? Oh, Karen said Amazon says the ink on the link is currently not available. So I will, after this, just do a little bit more research on that, and I'll put some other links. It does depend on where you are in the world. So if that link, it'll link through to the appropriate thing, and it might not be available in your territory and things like that. But it should, if you scroll down, it should say these are some alternatives. You just need to check that they are waterproof, that they are black, and that they're not too cheap, basically. Yeah. Anything else? You can also put a wash down, and when dry, use the pen over the drawing. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, Trina was able to find the platinum ink on Amazon in the US. Great. Trina, if you wouldn't mind emailing me that'd be brilliant, because then I can put that link on our on the series page. That'd be fantastic. Brilliant. Lots of excitement. Can't wait. Looking forward to seeing you all there. And Barry, thanks again for your time.
Pleasure. Okay, folks, and look forward to seeing you all. And this has got nothing to do with any. It's just because I hate shaving in the winter. That's all.
There's no cause. It's not just.
It's not a fashion statement, honestly.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Round of applause. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Barry.